Go now to dryerbuzz.com and follow @dryerbuzz on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.
Black women, stop taking on so much. I'm like, I'm sorry. Well, who's gonna do it? So this conversation, clap on it. This conversation about not doing too much. Can we ask the police to stop killing us? Can we make sure that Black mothers get to survive? I mean, can we actually challenge the institutions first instead of putting it on Black people and Black women in particular to stop doing it? So I want to name that. And in that, I do things. I do things because it's hard out here. So I have a therapist because I deeply believe in therapy, and I think, and I'm going to say this on every tour stop, every Black person deserves a therapist as part of our reparations. I'm slowly planting this at every stop. We deserve like full-on spa treatments, like every day if we want it. Like so much care goes into just staying above water. So I go to therapy. I just texted my therapist today. I try to do like different types of body work when I can, like acupuncture. I'm a firm believer in generative somatics, which is a practice that is about not just talking about trauma living in our bodies, but how do we release it? How do we learn a new way of being? And you know, I'm from California, so I'm into like crystals and shit. I'm weird. I know it's like, that's just what, I mean, I think more Black folks across everywhere now, but I grew up with that stuff. So, you know, I have my crystals out and I make my altars, and we got to center some way, y'all.
This is kind of a loaded question, but it's very interesting. How do you end racism in the U.S.? You got 3 minutes for Tracy.
I don't know, y'all. How do you? I don't know if I can answer that question. And maybe, you know, the question is really about white supremacy. And the question is maybe, how do white people end white supremacy? You know, it's interesting as a Black person because we really are living in a country that we never asked to come to. Most of us. There's some Black immigrants here. Maybe they didn't ask to come here either. Let's tell the truth. We're forced to come here, and we are forced into a position to try to fix it. Fix it because our life depends on it. And when your life depends on something, it's an animal response to try to save it, to save your children. But if your life doesn't depend on it, or if you don't believe your life depends on it, you don't try to change the thing in the same way. And so when we talk about racism and white supremacy, I really do want to talk to white folks and what y'all's role is in changing it. Because we've spent the last 500 years knee deep in trying to change this place.
What's the role of Black leaders, or the elected Black leaders, and all of that then?
Everything and nothing. I don't know. This is all like it's crazy to keep up with this moment. There's some moments where I'm glued to the television. I'm like, I gotta know what's happening. Like, and there's other moments where I'm like, this is just all a circus. And none of us matter in it. And so what's most important is, what am I going to do for the team around me? And I vacillate, to be honest with you. I think we got an interesting question in Harlem, and I'm going to just give Asha, no, it was not in Harlem, it was in DC, I think, where someone had asked, like, did the last generation fail us or something? And I let them way off the hook, and I was like, nah, we can't blame them, we gotta blame the system. And Asha was like, I blame every single last one of them. So there's probably an in-between place. What I will say is, I know for damn sure that this generation is not letting things happen on our watch. We are shutting things down every left and right and trying to build a new place, a new space for Black people. I do think that a part of that is trying to build political power. And are the people in office right now radical, or are they just keeping the status quo? I think we have maybe a couple folks who are radical, but across the country, no, they're keeping the status quo. I mean, look at the failure of the Democratic Party. We have to have real conversations. We have to have real and nuanced conversations about what a two-party system has done to this country. You go to places across the world, and they're like, you just have two parties? Of course you're in this mess. So, and until we are courageous enough, until elected officials are courageous enough to have those, not just real conversations, but change our practice, change the ways in which they behave towards us, we're gonna be in the same cycle.
Have you all had conversations with, for example, the Congressional Black Caucus?
We have.
What are those conversations like?
It depends. I think we're in a different moment, right? So when it was under the Obama administration, I think they were very frustrated with us. They're like, why can't you just, we're here and Obama's here, and why are y'all so, exactly, just be happy, y'all. And then now we're here, and I think they're like, oh damn. Like, trying to figure out.
I got the bat signal.
Exactly, but let me tell you how many times folks in the movement for Black Lives try to warn folks. You know? I don't know what makes it so difficult for people to believe Black people. When we say to you, look at what they're doing to us, just watch.
Yes.
If we don't fix this, just watch. And now we're in the moment. We don't have to keep watching. We get to change it right now.
Since I'm a public radio journalist, I'll just go to the next question. Y'all send me an email. Rose God said, how did your father leaving or going through his struggles affect you? And does it help you today in what you're doing?
Yeah, I mean, I'll just share with y'all, but you'll read in the book, my father died in 2009, and he died 9 months after he was released from prison. And I did a lot of grief work in those 2 years, because I was not in denial, but I wasn't ready to make him an ancestor. I wasn't ready for that. I wasn't excited about that. And the life he lived was cut too short. And there's just something that, there's something that happens inside of you when you know someone should have lived longer. I'm not the person who believes that everything happens for a reason. I think there's a reason why everything happens. But I don't think everything happens for a reason. And so it was very challenging in those first 2 years to have a deeper reason, deeper meaning for my father's death. Other than that, he was killed by racism. That was super clear. He deserved care, he deserved drug treatment for his addiction, but he didn't deserve a jail cell. He did not deserve degradation. And so, but his life that he lived a full life, and I learned a lot about non-judgment from him. He was super non-judgmental. I mean, I can come to him with anything. And my mom usually would tell him, like when she couldn't handle the things I was doing, she'd just go to him, and then we'd hop on a call and he'd be like, it's all good. Like, it's all good. And he just had like this super warm spirit. And he was so committed to his recovery. I mean, very committed. Even in his relapses, it was clear that he was just in the experiment of trying to live his full life. And I learned a lot from him because of that.
We love our daddies, don't we?
Yeah.
How can we, as organizers, activists, and educators, own our language and our narratives in a way that educates and benefits our own community? Interesting question.
Yeah. I think I understand how to answer that. How do we do it? So these kinds of questions are a little hard for me because I'm like, how do you do it? The way I try to do that is, I'll give the example of Black Lives Matter, which is some people in our movement was a little concerned about using the word black.
Really?
Yes. They're like, sure you want to do that? Might be a little bit divisive, and it was very important for many of us to actually say, no, it's okay to say black. Some of us who have black leadership in our organizations but are in a multiracial organization definitely, had to have those conversations amongst their staff and their base. This is why we're going to use Black Lives Matter. This is why it's okay to use it. And having those really courageous conversations about narrative, and also saying, no, it's important, it's necessary, these are the reasons why. And that was a really big learning moment for me, to believe in not just the phrase, but to believe in why that phrase really mattered and why it mattered to utter it and put it out there.
As we wrap up, and I'll get the final question here, what is your hope that Black Lives Matter mean 50 years from now?
I don't know.
It's okay.
I don't know. I think I'm gonna go on record saying I don't know.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Yeah.
The book is called When They Call You a Terrorist, a Black Lives Matter memoir. Patrisse Khan-Cullors. Thank you so much for being in this space with me.
Signing her books down there, and the line will start over there. Let's thank Rose and Patrisse one more time.
I just want to do one last thing before we start to sign books, because that's all fun. If we could get Mary Hooks up here real quick, just to say. It is only respectful to acknowledge the freedom fighters in every single city that I step into. Mary Hooks has been a proud leader of song, but she's also been a proud leader of Black Lives Matter locally. She has led the Black Mamas Bailout. 100 Black women across the country. It was her courageous vision that brought us to that path. And I just want her to tell y'all how you can get involved here.
Thank you, family. Hey, y'all. So glad y'all came out. Shout out to the BLM crew. Some of the homies right here. Some of the sausage that I called. On the BLM tip, check us out on our social media. BLM Atlanta, at BLM Atlanta on Twitter. Yeah, very specific. Yeah, we can talk about that later. But at BLM Atlanta on Twitter. If you check us out, Black Lives Matter Atlanta on Facebook. We have anything coming up? My mind? No, I don't think so. But if you see any of these four right here, talk to folks right here if you want to get involved. And you can come get contact and like, yo, put us in. We want to do something. Song, holler at us. Song members in the building. Lorraine's old school. Hey, Lorraine. Everything. Everybody. Holler at us. And it's important. February 5th, we just got word that the city of Atlanta is going to be trying to make a vote around ending money bail. And I good that they're talking about it. It's good that they're talking about it, but I don't think they're about that life. We have our petitions here, y'all. We have a petition to end Money Bell right there. Some of the other comrades right there, wave it again. Please sign that. Please sign that so we can get more petitions. But song Ignite Kendrick. That's our also our stuff on Instagram and stuff. Was it Twitter? Yeah.
Thanks, Mary. You're welcome. All right, that sounds good.
Now, if you'll join us up front. Thank you all very much.
So I'm going to get a couple of signs for...
You are definitely a spiritually filled, thinking woman, and that is what we've been lacking in our community.
Go now to dryerbuzz.com and follow @dryerbuzz on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. It's all about the buzz.